Hey everybody, it's Linda, and I am here with Brian Smith, the founder of UGG Boots.
Hey guys, how you doing?
In person, personal. Well, first of all, where's the camera on this thing so I can?
It's
Is
up
it
right up
there?
here.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Make sure I'm looking at the right place. So today I'm going to talk to Brian. We're going to talk about the birth of a brand, which is his book, Birth of a Brand. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to give away 2 books today.
Cool.
Well, you're going to be eligible to win until Sunday, okay? Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. But today we're going to talk about the book. We're going to talk about how did UGG go from $500 in his pocket to $1 billion company. Absolutely amazing. This is all about branding. So if you are interested in this process, please share this with your friends on your page as well. And before we get started, Brian, I want to tell you about something. I belong to a mastermind group, and it's called Stageless Success Mastery.
Right.
And they are sponsoring our show today.
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome.
Way to go, guys.
Sponsors. Yeah. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, go to attendssm.com. And then again, remember, stick around. You're going to comment with the word UGG in the comments, and this is going to make you eligible to win one of the books. We're giving away 2 books, okay? So Brian, let's hear it. How did you get started? $500 in your pocket? What's up with that? I got $500. Can I make $1 billion company?
I don't know, but it goes back even further before the $500. I was an accountant in Australia, and I finally graduated after 10 years, and I quit the same day I graduated.
10 years for school?
Yeah, I was studying at night and working at day. Okay. And I had this feeling that I always wanted to be in business for myself. And I had an inspiration to come to California because all the trends were coming out of California into Australia, like waterbeds and Levi jeans and all the surf brands and everything. And so I wanted to get into a business and find the next big thing in California that I could bring back to Australia.
Was it Beanie Babies?
No, I didn't.
Not Beanie Babies.
That was another one. But anyway, something like that. And so I came to California and spent a couple of months here looking around for the next big thing. And while I was killing my time, I was surfing at Malibu nearly every day, And, after 3 or 4 months, I still hadn't found the thing. And then it was getting to be September, October, and the water was getting cold. Yeah. And I had my sheepskin boots from Australia, and I was putting them on the beach one afternoon, and I went, oh my God, I got goosebumps. There's no sheepskin boots in America.
So you literally had that epiphany was dropped on you.
Oh, it was life-changing because my whole body sort of got convulsing goosebumps.
Well, can I go back to when you dropped out of school? Because you 10 years, and while you were in school for that 10 years, did you have any kind of inkling or thoughts that maybe this might not be the right path? Or were you like, I'm on the right path, this is it?
No, I never liked it.
You never
liked it? I was doing it mostly because my parents said it was a steady career. Right. But it wasn't me. And I don't give up on things, which is why UGG exists today. I don't give up easily, and we'll talk a lot about that.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier because I've tried surfing and I didn't try for very long. I gave up on it.
Well, anytime you give up, you're never going to get the big reward.
There you go, golden nugget.
Yeah, the bottom line is that even though I was an accountant, I didn't and had a goosebump moment when I was meditating in Australia because I was thinking, what the hell can I do? And that's when I thought, all the things are coming out of California. I got goosebumps then as well. So yeah, I do tune in to my inner being quite a bit.
The goosebumps, do they last long, or is it kind of like a fleeting thing? Have you noticed?
It's just a wake up. It's like it's an awareness. To me, I do a lot of meditation. I'm very spiritual. So to me, I believe that there's a fragment of God in every one of us, and it has a mission where it wants our lives to go. Right. And any time that we make a decision that's in alignment with that inner guidance, the only way it can say "way to go, Brian" is through the electrochemical system that we have. It's called goosebumps. So I've always tuned in. Every time I get goosebumps now, I go, uh-oh, that must be something momentous. Let me analyze that. And nearly every time it's like a change of thought or a change of direction. in my life. So goosebumps, I tell everybody now, every time you get them, just sit back and analyze what just happened.
Listen to those goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten scared and not gone forward with something like that when you've had that?
No, usually it's when I've made the decision to go is when I get the reward of the goosebumps. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not goosebumping me to take action. It's after the action's taken, it goes, way to go, Brian. We're on you. We're with you.
I've never even thought about it, but that is so true because I make that decision to do something, and then when I step into it, I get giddy, and it's like
that's when the validation comes. Yeah, that's to me is okay. That was a good decision. Let's follow it up.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you were in California. You had this epiphany that
yeah, no sheepskin boots. So 1 in 2 Australians own some sort of sheepskin footwear. And so it just made me think, God, if 1 in 2 Americans own some sort of footwear, I mean, that's a hell of a goal. And, I never ever expected I'd get 1 in 2 Americans doing it, but damn, we're pretty close.
Yeah. And some of them own more than one pair.
Yeah. Some of them own 10 pairs. Yeah. But back then it was just, this is going to be huge. And so I was surfing with a buddy and I said to him, man, let's make some calls, get some samples in, and we'll go into business. We're going to be instant millionaires. You've heard that before.
And he believed you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Especially younger, right?
Yeah, for sure. So we ended up, we called up at this factory in Australia and got 6 pairs of samples in, and Doug was going to be the salesman because I was terrified of sales. I was so fearful. I was going to be the accountant. And he went out there for the first, couple of weeks and came back with about 150 business cards of every single shoe retailer that he'd visited. Okay. And not a single order. And they just say, you're crazy selling sheepskin in California. Get out of here. Right? But the reality is that Australia's climate is exactly the same as California.
Just backwards, right?
Yeah. So I knew that was not the right reason. And it struck me that all my buddies up at Malibu think this is the best idea in the world. And Doug and I were talking about it. We thought, oh, of course, they've all been to Australia and they've surfed down there and they all brought sheepskin boots back for their buddies. So within the surfing community, sheepskin boots were pretty common. Right. And the word UGG was sort of, getting out. And so Doug and I, changed gears and we went to hit all the surf shops up. And so he was going to take the valley, and he was insistent that I do all the beach stores. And man, he was on the road for like 3 or 4 days, and I every morning refused to go out. I was so scared. Give me 5 because you've conquered that. Yeah, I was so scared. And I finally I got guilty because I knew he was out there. And so I, got my samples and I went down to the closest surf shop in Santa Monica called Con Surfboards, and I walked in real sheepish. I had my samples in this little bag. Was that a pun? Sheepish? No, I didn't think of that. But I sort of opened up the bag when I walked in, and he goes, "Oh, sheepskin boots, man! What are you doing with those? They're the best." And I went, "Well, I'm thinking of going into business. I'm bringing them into America." And he goes, "Oh, fantastic! You'll make a fortune. Those things are great." And I thought, wow, this selling's not so bad. Yeah. And so I went to the next store and it was the same thing. Oh, UGG boots, man, they're great. I've got a pair. A friend bought them back from Australia. And over the next 2 days, all the way down the coast, to San Diego, I'm just getting this incredible response. And so I'm now thinking I'm a bulletproof salesman, Right. But when Doug and I got back to my little house in Santa Monica, we never it never occurred to us that we hadn't asked for any orders. Oh no! Because we didn't have any inventory. And what's the point? This was just an idea. But we were so enthused that we were going to be instant millionaires that we decided to raise some money because we had to buy product. And there's another interesting story. You've heard that saying that once you start out on a path, the universe conspires to work with you. Yes. It's very ancient. That's probably thousands of years old. Well, my buddy Doug and I were discussing what we needed, and my roommate overheard us, and he says, "Oh, there's some guys at my office want to invest in new companies." So we raised like 20 grand without even doing a business plan.
Wow.
And we sent 15 to Australia, and that's worth like $80,000 or $90,000 today, you know. But there was a lot of money, and we sent most of it down to Australia and ordered 500 pairs.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally arrived, and we went
Here's
back.
where the story gets good.
Yeah, we went back out onto the you know, the road with it. This time I go back with my big bag full of product and an order pad, and I went back to Con Surfboards, and John goes, "Hey, well, you know, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, hey, here's all the boots now. How many do you want?" And he goes, "Oh, well done, Brian, but you know, we couldn't sell them out of our store. We just sell surfboards and trunks and sandals,
Right.
and they're way too expensive for us, you know. But good luck, you'll do great in the shoe stores." And it was like that happened over and over and over again,
gosh.
all the way down the coast, and the same with Doug. And it ended up our first year's sales of UGG was 28 pairs.
28 pairs.
Yeah, we bought 500 because we were going to be so successful. And we couldn't give them away, you know. We did our best, but 28 pairs.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really the huge disappointment.
Yeah.
But it set up something that I've noticed all my life with every single business and it's the theme of the book. Again, we'll show you the book.
Birth of the brand.
Right. The theme is you can't give birth to adults.
Right. And I love that. That's so cool.
Every business starts with someone conceiving it, and the first action is taken, and that's the birth. For us, 6 pairs of samples was the birth of UGG. And then everything just lies there after that. And that's when most entrepreneurs give up, because they've given it their best shot and then nothing really happens.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh my God, it's not working." And, you know, a lot of them give up right then. But it's a normal part of every growth cycle. You know, you have to be an infant. There's no amount of overfeeding or jiggling the cradle. An infant can't go to college, right? It has to go through toddling, which is a great stage. You know, all the new believers are buying your product, and people are writing articles about you.
Right.
And then you'll get into the youth, which is consistent orders coming in and consistent deliveries, consistent accounting and customer service. And then you'll get into the teenage years, which, if it's a really good product, and that's super dangerous, because
people start gossiping about it.
Well, no, this
teenagers.
This is more like where you want to be in every party in town, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, and you want to be in trade shows all across the country, which you can't afford. You want to be in every big retailer. You can't afford the product, and it's super dangerous where you get too big too quick.
Right.
And but if you can manage that, it becomes a mature company. So anyway, that back to the 28 pairs, hugely disappointing. But
what made you guys keep going? You know.
Well, Doug, you know, we obviously didn't make $1 million,
right?
So he went and got another job.
Okay.
And I was stuck, you know, and I couldn't really give up, because I had, you know, 480 something pairs in the warehouse, you know, my third bedroom, right?
Right.
And so I started doing swap meets and, you know, street fairs.
Okay.
But the biggest deal I did was I got this system going where I'd go surfing at Malibu, and I'd fill the van. I had a big van. I'd fill it up full of product, and I was open for business, and I used to get a ton of business from all of the people. That was so strong that, you know, even if the surf was crappy, I'd still go there and just open the car up and be selling business, you know, products. So that was how it sort of got going.
Let's talk about some of your ads, your first ads.
Yeah. The first ads were
boo-boo ads.
Yeah, these were. I thought I was doing fantastic advertising. You know, I had these beautiful models, and I posed them on the beach at Wind and Sea, a guy and a girl with perfect hair and clothing and everything. And you know, the sales went like to $10,000, which was like so disappointing.
For a year?
Yeah, for the season, you know.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, so I had to get another summer job, right? This is the second summer job. So the next year I got better looking models, and I posed them on the beach again, and the sales went to 20,000, which again was hugely disappointing. So that meant another summer job. And you know, I was getting ready to figure out my advertising for the next year, and I was having a beer with a buddy who owned a surf shop, And I was telling him this problem, and he just says, "Oh, Brian, you know," he calls out to these guys, little kids out the back, little 13-year-old grommets, and they come out and he says, "What do you think of Uggs?" And he says, "Oh, those Uggs, man, they're so fake. Have you seen those ads? Those models, they can't surf." And instantly I realized I'm sending the wrong message to my target market, which is young surf kids, you know?
Right.
And it made me, as soon as they said that, I just went, oh my God, I knew how fake these ads were. They were totally contrived and posed. So I switched gears, and I had a buddy of mine who was running this collegiate surf team, and I said, you know, Pete, any of you, these young kids going to go pro soon? Because I need some cheap guys to sponsor. And he gave me Mike Parsons and Ted Robinson, who were two young up-and-coming guys.
Okay.
And instead of the expensive photographer, I just went surfing with them to Black's Beach and Trestles. And we, you know, just took photos of them walking along the roads, you know. But these are iconic walks. And I knew that every kid who reads a surfer magazine is going to wish to God he was walking down that road with Mike Parsons or Ted Robinson, you know. And, you know, Blacks and Trestles were the two we featured. And I ran them in the surfer magazines and the action sports magazines in October. And the sales for that season went to 200,000 plus.
Whoa. So from 10 to 20 to 200,000. Was it the following year?
It was in succession, yeah.
Right. Okay.
And it was purely because I nailed the image. And it made me realize with marketing and advertising, you never advertise your product. You always advertise the benefits or the feelings or the emotion. If you can get a reader emotionally involved in the ad like those kids wanted to be walking down that road to Black's Beach, you know, go surfing with Mike Parsons.
Yeah.
That was the power of the ad. The first ads,
I want that.
Yeah.
Right?
The first ads, the product was like 1/3 of the page because I wanted to focus on UGG. The ads that worked, the product was like minuscule. You could hardly see the guy's feet because it's all beach and ocean and the roads and everything. And so the product was immaterial to the ad.
Okay.
But the feeling that wow, if I wear a pair of UGG boots, I'm going to get to do that and feel that way. And that's really when I was born again as a marketer that day when I ran those ads, because, you know, that marketing then became a passion for me. And that's why UGG became worldwide, is that I'd figured out how to position it in a way.
You unlocked that key.
That would appeal to people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw you in the spot, put you in the spot here, and I'm going to ask, can you help me with my branding right now?
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about just a little bit, like maybe you can steer our audience in different ways about thinking about their branding. Okay. So my branding is a coaching program, right? And it's for fear. Like I help women break through their fears.
It's great. Yeah.
So tuning into the emotion that I want that, like I want to break through my fears. What is the best way for me to figure out how to brand that, market that out in the public?
Off the top of my head, first of all, you got to let them in on what the fear is.
Okay.
So you got to ask the question in a way that they align with their fear, right?
Okay.
So they know they have it, and then you've got to give them a solution of what you've been successful at helping people overcome a fear. And if they can first of all engage in it, oh my God, that's me, and wow, there's an answer. That's the way to brand yourself. But you have to show the solution in a way that is easy for them to buy or purchase, or, you know, to train in. You know, they got to know what the commitment is and all that sort of stuff. That's the details.
Okay.
But catching them up front is giving them making them aware of their fear and their problem, and having a solution to overcome it.
Okay.
Right.
Now, do you go through any fears now, or?
Oh, everyone does. Yeah.
Okay. I just wonder, because I've asked people, you know, different people what their fears are, and I've been amazed to find out some of the answers. Like one of them was, I'm fearful of boredom.
Right.
It's like, wow, that's a very interesting one.
Yeah.
I've never feared of that, you know?
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah. What's your fear?
I don't have any like life-threatening fears, but I you know, I wonder, have I set myself up for a great retirement? Have I set my kids up for a great retirement? You know, because the things that I do subject to, like, I got completely wiped out in the recession, 2009 through 2014. I had everything, millions of dollars all set up in place from the UGG business. I had a great new business in the construction products industry, making precast walls. And the economy stopped. Construction stopped. I had millions of dollars invested in this huge plant, and then that stopped. And then that led to a whole bunch of, miscellaneous legal stuff that just sucked me down. And so, now that I've got out of that and I'm back on the road, I'm doing great now. I'm doing a lot of speaking, keynote speaking, and I've got my life together. I'm invested in some really cool businesses that I'm helping with, and I'm, doing good by all, average standards. But the fear is there that, well, what's going to take that away? Right,
because you were already there.
I've already been there, and it was no doing of mine that the recession hit.
Exactly.
And I thought I was invested smartly, but I obviously wasn't. And so anyway, that's probably the only fear I have. I don't have any fear of starting new businesses or fear of meeting people or I don't have a fear of public speaking, although I'm always super nervous before I go on stage.
Oh, you are?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, so what
totally.
do you do to get yourself up on, like, how much before you go on stage are you not nervous, or is it not until you get on stage? And then what do you do to break through that?
Well, it's like I used to play really high level of rugby, international rugby.
Okay.
And if I wasn't nervous and scared before a game, I never played well.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Okay.
It's part of the build-up. And you're taking it seriously. If you didn't have a fear, it means you're not taking it seriously. You don't give your audience the best. So I just rehearse my notes. I don't speak from a script. I just speak out of my, what I feel like. But the last thing I say when I'm getting called, introduced, is, God, please let me help at least one person in this audience today.
Yeah.
And that's the one that sort of, getting choked up here, because that's when that spirit kicks in.
Well, I'm getting choked up with you.
Yeah, that spirit kicks in, and